I'm ready.
Can you believe it? Episode number 70. Listen to the crowd. Woo! So for our 70th, we wanted to bring in our permanent guest hosts, Nouchelle and Wayne. They never get to be together. And we're having all kinds of difficulties today, but we're surviving. So Wayne, first of all, hold on a second. Nouchelle, how are you today?
Good morning, baby boy.
Great, I can't hear you. Can't hear a darn word. You reset up and you didn't bring the other listening device so I can hear you.
I said, good morning, baby boys. I'm darn beautiful.
You guys are killing. Oh, look at this. Are those like little snowflakes or something on your ears?
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I love it. So this does start the season's greetings of Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. And
dude, I
so
got
Wayne,
a busy schedule for you.
So we all in Florida today, right? Wayne, you're out of the cold weather and you brought some down here.
Right. Yep. Out of Chicago, and I'm going to be here until I go back up to Minnesota for Christmas in 2 weeks.
Wow. That's going to be a white Christmas for you. No offense, Nouchelle.
It might be. I don't know, because there's no snow there. So.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that place was just snowed in all the time after July.
Well, of course, it always was when I was there, but maybe not so much anymore. But they're going to get their fair share, no doubt about it.
Well, as long as everybody gets their fair share, that's all we care about. Is
this like predicting a football game? They just need a fair share of rings. You're gonna get snow.
Yeah, gonna get it. It's gonna happen. Gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Look, Nouchelle's got all kinds of motivational stuff. He's got, these are the days, and then on her shirt it says,
unbroken.
Not broken. Not broken.
Unbroken. And this is today's shirt is by Biddy and Bose. It's a store out of Savannah, Georgia, and it's for special needs children. They are unbroken.
Well, now I can't joke about that. That's beautiful. I love that. Shout out to my nephew, Joey, one of my favorite perfect humans on the planet Earth, who lives just north of Wayne, up in the great north of Florida, which I guess is technically
what can be north of Wayne? Wayne is due north.
Speaking of mentioning things, before I forget, because this is just a random house today. We have no plan. We're just rocking and rolling, going to do some thank yous to the past, talk about the future. But tomorrow, I don't know if Wayne's coming down for it, but there's a huge happy hour after that garbage expo that they're having. Oh yeah, he said it. But I know a lot of, there's a ton of people coming to the happy hour. A lot of people aren't even going to go to the show. They're just going to go to the happy hour. So we're excited about that. I love L&L trade shows. I love when CAI does their expos. I think there's a lot of great classes being happening online, in person. Becker, I did something with them last month. That was just fantastic training for board members. All these important things need to happen. And then sometimes there's shows that, there was a great show up in DC we had every year, and they were operating up until, I haven't heard anything from them for like the last year. They were doing shows around the same time L&L was, and it just wasn't happening. You can overdo shows, I think. Is Wayne frozen?
What are you talking about? What's
Expos.
The deal with the show you're talking about? You said there's
it's some, I don't know who it is. It's some show that, it's just whatever.
It doesn't have a name, Wayne.
I won't even give it a name.
It's a no-show.
It's a no-show.
It's a no-show.
Yeah, right. I'm impressed. So you're going to a trade show and you don't even know who's putting it on. Do you know who's even going to be in attendance?
I'm not participating.
Well, then what are we talking about it for?
The happy hour afterwards. It's over at the QUARTERDECK, which is they have two of them. There's one near the beach. It's kind of a rowdy sports bar. And then they got more of an elegant indoor-outdoor space across the street from the convention center. So at 3:00, everybody's going to be converging over there. regardless where they are in South Florida, they're all coming to this happy hour. It's sponsored by Nouveau. It's also WRG, City Quiet, and I believe the last one is Brown and Brown Insurance. I think that's the 4. I could be wrong.
What about LGC?
He's just a spokesman.
People to come, come on.
Come on.
Come on.
What did you have?
I'll kick in some money if they need it. But it's more of just it's almost like an impromptu, pre-Christmas party, a bunch of people getting together in the industry, along with any property managers or board members that want to come, or if you're just out on the street and you just want to come on over. It's a neat place. It's just another golden nugget of South Florida. We've got more of those than Carter's got pills.
Who's
I don't know if Carter makes pills anymore. That's something my mom used to say.
God, Grandpa. Wow. Carter's got pills.
Yeah. When she'd say, is everything copacetic? Kelly, put your trousers on. Time to go to school.
Mr. Carter.
Nouchelle, I swear to God, Kelly is my grandpa reincarnated. He likes the Beatles. He says Carter's and pills, and I don't even know what the hell that is. But, dude,
and that's
is
back
your
when
favorite
pills
show
were
Little
pure,
House on the Prairie?
And Wayne, you want to know something? So we're at an event, and they have a Beatles cover band, right? And Kelly's in the corner just killing it in the air.
I'm so glad. So glad I wasn't there. I would have walked out.
That's when Dawn Miller was recognized for being such an awesome human being.
His eyes were closed. He didn't even know that he was just killing it in the corner. That was like, what's going on? Here's another one. And he was just like,
yep,
you give me some Beatles and I'm a happy man.
It feels good to be 80 years old, dude, I guess, right?
Listen, I'm still kicking, okay?
Well, incidentally, that's what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about the fact that we are amazing in our, our age category. When I was young, I didn't think I would be hanging out with people my age. I love hanging out with people my age. I love being here with you all. We're like, that's why I bought my hat. You see my cool tam, y'all?
You're styling.
Cool boys. I'm broken and I'm hanging out with the cool boys.
3 for 3. I love it.
Oh, you got sports on your mind again. And it's out of the park, guys.
Oh my golly. We're just
the
spinning
bases are loaded.
People go, wow, they got nothing today. Hey, so what's in the news?
In other news, this is Howard Cosell speaking of sports.
That sounded nothing like Howard Cosell.
It was a segue for you, Kelly.
As you're getting better now. Holy smokes. How was Chicago last week, Wayne?
It's always good to go to Chicago. I always say it's my home away from home. It's without a doubt my favorite city in the country because, they got a good, healthy dose of East Coast attitude, coupled with good Midwestern values. That's how I always describe Chicago. I love it there.
Well, they should hire you because, boy, that sure isn't what I think about when I think about Chicago. But tonight at dark, they're going to have the Christmas tree lighting at Lauderdale by the Sea, which I find to be the greatest little city in the world.
Oh, Lauderdale is a town, Kelly. It's a little town.
It's my little village.
Is it incorporated?
Oh, wait for you. We're the village people. Yeah, it's incorporated.
Village people, Nouchelle, again, another grandpa reference. The village people. Can we bring
YMCA?
It's like Eyes Without a Face, man. Give it a break.
Oh, who sings that? Because that's a great song.
Idol. It's Billy Idol.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Generation X. That's
so
my generation.
Speaking of grandpas, I went to that concert back in like May or something when he appeared. Billy Idol. So.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, so I saw him back in like the 80s and the 90s, and boy, this guy, he looked like death warmed over, but his voice was unbelievable. I go down to the big guitar, the hot rock, and heard him.
Another guitar.
And I'm like, there are so many other things I could be doing tonight instead of being here. It was
But you're here.
terrible. It was.
Did you walk out?
I stayed till the end, but
that's a good question. When you pay for something and it turns out to be not what you paid for, do you think you're entitled to have your money back?
no.
Ooh.
I was dumb enough to, it's not that he didn't perform. He just is old. Eyes without a face. I mean, it was, and they had some disgusting opening act. This girl was just filthy. I was disgusted by that. You know how I'm so uptight. But and then so I want to come back and talk a little bit about what I went and did this Saturday, which I thought was absolutely amazing. Seeing
you got
Nick.
to see a lot of great people.
Oh, it was absolutely amazing. But I found out the night before that the Black Keys were going to be performing at some festival down the street in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm like, oh man, I can't believe it. So I went on, paid too much for a 2-day ticket to hear one song by the Black Keys. They sing a song called I'm a lonely guy. I'm a lonely man. I'm a lonely. I'm not going to start singing. But if you look it up, play it on your own, not during the show. But it's one of the best rhythms of any song ever made. And you want to see me dance goofy, I go nuts on that. So
I want to see it.
I get to the other event at 7:00 in the morning. I'm there till 6 at night. I meet Willie Robertson from Duck Dynasty. I meet the woman Ann who founded Annie's Pretzels, who was just what a story and what a woman she was. And then of course Nick, who I can't say his last name, but he was pretty funny because he says he announces who he is and he can't even say his last name. I guess it's part of his routine, but it's pretty funny. He's like Nick. But a life without limbs. And this guy, I've been following him for years. My daughter saw him when she was a mid-teen, probably like 15 or something. And to see him in person, I got to talk to him outside. Then I got a photo op with him, which was really cool. And just a incredible human being. And all of them were great stories. But then I go down and this place reeks of weed. I say marijuana, but I wanted Wayne to know that I can be hip. There's people like passed out. It's just crammed with young people. And I'm like, I've never felt so old. And then, and this band played before them, which was like a Bruce Springsteen knockoff band, but they were really good. And I'm like, if I was Bruce, I'd say, hey, I think you guys are kind of stealing my stuff. I'll probably get some backlash for that if any young people ever listen to this. But then they had the keys
You're
go
not
on.
afraid of backlash. Did you really just say that?
You're really. I said I was going to get it. I didn't say I was worried about it. So then, so their last song of this at 10:00, they finally played it, and I'm like, I'm tired. I want to take a shower because the stench of weed hipper, was just so gross. And then I took my $25 Uber ride home and went to bed. But
you wasn't even drunk.
What's that?
You wasn't even drunk. But you can get a free Uber if you pretend.
I'm paying. But I feel bad for those people that drive Uber. I tell you, this guy, the second guy that drove me, he had like 17,000 rides because they tell you, how many rides they've done. Like 17,000. So I said, hey, so you're new at this, huh? He looks back and he's like, I've never heard that before. I'm like, well,
right.
Old jokes, baby.
Grandpa humor. Ba-dum-bum.
Coming at you live.
Here's Kelly.
But that was 2 bucket list items. So maybe we can switch that. So my bucket list items was to see Nick. And I got to see him. And okay. The book's autographed. I don't know how. He did not say that. But hey, come on, listen.
Once again, I mean, is that appropriate? Is that really, dude? Did you go there? I mean, I was going to
Listen,
say, did you give him a high five?
If he
Why
was
don't you just say that?
watching, if he was watching, he would be laughing his head off, which is,
And we're not. He isn't, and we're not.
no, I think
Nouchelle didn't laugh, and I didn't laugh. I don't really find that appropriate at all to make fun of somebody
I think
is a
Nouchelle
quad.
giggled a little bit.
Wayne,
It was
there's
a
a
courtesy
crown and
giggle.
glory for you for what you have to go through with this dude called Kelly.
Oh my
Listen.
God! Again, it's grandpa humor, is what it is. I feel like I have my grandpa Louie on, who died in 1994 and was like born in 1870.
He's hanging out with my grandma Ruby.
My
There you
grandparents
go.
were born in 1880 and 1881.
Oh
My
my!
parents were
I
born in
bet you they
1917 and 1920.
But
did a lot more modern than you do.
Have you ever seen me in my Miami Dolphins suit that I wear to a special events?
You're not allowed to put on anything like that has to do with a game day reference past the age of 12. So just the sheer fact
No,
that you
it wasn't
do
a
that.
jersey. I have a suit with a Miami tie. I wore it to the White House to meet the 72 Dolphins. So come on. But my dad actually bought the suit in 1972.
Wayne, I think you're gonna get an invoice at the end of the year for all of the bleeps, blunders, and boop boops from Kelly. We know where your bonus is going. You're gonna
Wow.
pay for your co-host.
Well, so let's we haven't said it in a while. We have a ton of sponsors. They're all fake. We like them. You know, Callaway Golf sponsors us. Not really, but it's because it's my granddaughter's name, and that's why I have that one. And then we do love Rockin Wellness, which I'm drinking right now. We love Allison, who is the co-founder of Rockin Wellness. But she doesn't give me a dime. I don't even get a discount off her stuff. And I don't ask for one, actually. I've been offered to friends and family, which was very sweet. But no, I'm like, I want to support business. But so bring it back. So we have no sponsors. We receive no compensation. The expense is our time. And the other expense is, I think I pay a couple bucks a month to YouTube to do what we do.
We're thankful. Sponsors or not.
There's no bonus coming to Wayne or Kelly or our special guest, permanent guest host, Nouchelle, because there ain't no money coming in.
Don't get no bonuses, people.
There ain't no money coming in, so there ain't no money going out.
Friendship.
So speaking of bucket
I have
list,
a question. I do have a question. This is a young person asked me this. How crazy is this?
What's young to you? 40?
Whoa, baby. Got me working. No, okay. Young people asked me this question. Young person. Well, it was like 3 of them. So young people. And they wanted to know, with everything being allowed in today's world, right? Everybody has an excuse. Everybody can fight. They're using their voice. They protest. What if the young people go for a job and then they have to take a P test? They're like, I'm like, what? I'm like, an aptitude test? They're like, no, a P test, Miss Shelley. I'm like, oh, a P test. That's how young people talk.
For the hipsters, it's called urine.
Yeah, but yeah, it was like, I'm like, an aptitude test? Because when you think about young, like, no, I'm not going there. But anyway, but I want to say all of our young people are not out to lunch. I have met some hardworking young people, but their question was really good. Are they still valid or are they outdated? Like, why do you have to take a drug test in today's world?
Because you shouldn't do them. That's why. Weed is ruining the country. They're saying 1/4 of accidents are happening from people that are stoned.
But what if they say, listen to this, you Wayne, I don't know if you've ever just sat and talked to a young person in Starbucks, but you will come away like, whoa. So they said to me, well, Miss Shelley, we're just going to tell them that AI took the P test.
I like it. That's a good workaround.
Yeah, like we're joking here, right? Talking about being back in the days with Kelly, we're going back to the future, whatever. But I really want to ask that question. Do you all have any AI content lined up for 2024?
No. But in this book, it says, do not get intoxicated. Intoxicated means doing it with pills, alcohol, or weed, or anything else. Don't do
I
it.
love that book. I'm going to
Save
start carrying
yourself
that
a
around
life
with me.
of misery. Don't do it. That's all
Don't
I'm saying.
do it.
Don't do it.
And tell
Just-
AI don't do it either.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
I
Shelley,
have I don't like AI. I have to deal with them when I have to call up for a problem with the sound system on my computer and stuff. And they ask me 50 questions through AI, and I just lose my mind. I turn into my dad.
no.
and Wayne's grandfather.
Exactly. Shelley, I need a clarification from you on what your question is as far as, do we have any AI applications for next year? Or stated, I didn't understand what you mean.
Okay, thank you, Wayne, for getting back to
Thank you, Wayne, not Kelly. What's she saying?
I was saying content, like, do you have any guests, any specialists that you all plan to bring on in 2024? Because this show is so popular and it goes.
You mean to talk
everywhere.
about AI?
Do you want to talk about AI?
I would. I love AI. I can't wait for it to come. I mean, I think it's going to be bigger than the internet. So I have definitely a different opinion than Kelly does. So
Yeah,
if we can find anybody.
We'll bring in our permanent guest host, and I'll take that show off. I've no use for it. I'm old school. I'm just going to put my trousers on and go down to the Tasty Freeze when y'all are doing that.
And I think you'll get there by the horse and buggy. I bet you wouldn't like an automobile and you would be afraid of that. People have said that throughout all of history. When a new technology comes up, they're afraid of it, just like they were the internet and the jobs that were created and the productivity savings from the internet when it came out completely dwarfed what jobs that were taken away. I mean, I embrace it because it's going to be here no matter what anybody thinks about it.
Two things. I'm not afraid, and I'm sorry you're not allowed to use the word dwarf anymore.
But that's not about AI, dude. I mean, come on, stick to the topic, Grandpa.
You just said it dwarfs.
Shelley, what do you think? Shelley, what do you think about AI?
Well, now I'm starting to really do some research on it. And literally they told me, they said, you don't even have to write your own emails anymore. Like, they were saying to me, get with it. Because I had my and this is for every person in our industry. We go to the coffee shops, we have our books, we have our pen, right? We're longhand, writing out our calendar, doing our thing. And like, they're cracking up at me. They literally was like, lady, what century are you in? And I'm like, what? I'm taking notes. I'm doing all these. It's like, you don't have to do that anymore. But it opened up such a conversation for us. It's like, I look forward to seeing them, like the Breakfast Club. Their ideas, Kelly, their ideas are not off. Like, they literally said to me, by the time you finish doing what you're doing, we're going to be on the other side of the county by then. Like, talking to our phones, it's going to take notes. And they told me they're going to outproduce me. They was like, we're going to outproduce you.
Listen, ain't nobody going to outproduce me.
I was getting like Medea. Ain't nobody going to outproduce me. I'm squatting. Meanwhile, 3 days later, they came back. I was still sitting in Starbucks.
Right.
Now, I write things down because that's how I memorize.
Yeah.
So if I've got something just transposing everything to Word, I'm not learning. I'm not memorizing. I'm not doing my critical thinking on it. I think it has a small place. But I don't, you know what? If all these stupid kids are going to be stoned all the time and rotting out their brains, maybe we do need AI.
Well, I'm just saying this show is for the entire, gamut. And that is definitely something that has been put on my radar to just focus and look at what AI is doing. And think about it, that autocorrect when you type now on your text messages, I just became a more conscious person as to what I'm saying, because AI is out there and I don't want it to misinterpret, especially with my Brooklyn accent. Like, I really wanted to get it right. I was like, no, dude, I didn't say that.
But it's not doing, it's doing predictive stuff. And it actually has the words it's predicting. When you do it, it's pretty creepy. because sometimes it will not allow you to write something until you force it to write it, and they'll try to throw up other words or names that they want you to have put down.
Well, I think that goes back to what Wayne was just telling you. It's here, right?
And I don't like it.
Yeah, but
you don't have to like it, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's really funny how these generational conversations go. I remember, as being a charter member of Generation X, throughout most of my career, it was stuff like, well, you know what, you guys are like a bunch of slackers, and you hear all of these things that are put out about Generation X. And then with baby boomers, it's like, okay, well, you were born on third base, but you didn't hit the ball. Millennials, all this and that. Generation Z coming up. It's like, everybody understand and embrace everybody. It's really weird to hear these hits and slams at generations. It's like we all got a hell of a lot more in common than we do differences, right? So focus on that, and instead of the not in my backyard type of an attitude. This stuff is here. Who cares?
But when the technology is manipulating, that's when I have a problem. Back before I was born, so just to be clear, and I'm the end of the baby boomers, 1963. I ran from 46, which my brother was born, and then 63 to me. So with that being said, back in the day before me, they used to put the smell of popcorn butter into the movie theaters, and people would go out and buy the popcorn, and that was shady. And they're like going, I'm not so good about that. Now they're doing it in social media, and even on your iPhone, they sit there and predict the words that they want you to use as opposed to the words that you were going to use. And I have a problem with that. And I have one more problem.
Override it. You can override it.
I do, but I have to override it to the last word. I don't mind it if it's predicting stuff that isn't appropriate or right. I got a problem with that. They've got something in their algorithm.
Kelly, appropriate or right is in the words of the beholder. It's different to everybody.
But they're forcing it in there.
Dude, it's a business. Let them do what they want. You can put in whatever you want. Who cares? You're getting
he's being manipulated right now. He doesn't even know it because he's so young.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
But here's I want to do one other complaint that we never. Where did he? What the?
That was the coolest.
He just fell off.
No, the tablet did. It's on my computer.
So I'm gonna get
on a podcast now.
I'm gonna get serious for a moment, and it's something I never thought I was gonna ever see in my lifetime. And that's where people are calling for the elimination of a religious sect and on the planet. University of Maryland wrote Holocaust 2.0 on a building. There are kids in colleges around the country that have been so manipulated, influenced that they're saying for Palestine to go from the river to the sea, which is a code word for eliminating Jewish people. I cannot believe. I used to ask my parents, what was it like to be around in the 30s and the 40s? And my dad didn't talk about it. And my mom used to say, well, we didn't know about it nearly as much in the United States, although there was prejudice against everybody back, when she was growing up. I mean, she lived in the Irish Catholic neighborhood and had their own church, and they had the Italian Catholic, and then they had, everybody was kind of in their own little villages in their town. And she said there was a lot of stuff going on, but it was just more like, let's say Italian pride versus, wanting to eliminate people. And the fact that we have people in our country, especially the young people that are supporting this, just destroys my heart and also just infuriates me to no end. And
yeah. Okay. So what do you want to do with them? What do you want to do with them? Because you don't agree with what they say. The bill comes due for the First Amendment privileges that we enjoy in this country. So do you want to eliminate their ability to express themselves, even though it's something that like 99.99% of the people won't agree with, which is Holocaust 2.0? What do you want to do about that?
I want to have an education system that people understand what the heck they're saying.
One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter, dude. Sorry.
But well,
Yeah.
you saw what they did over in Israel. Yeah. I mean,
I did.
And it's sick. And to have our younger people, for the most part, think that they are freedom fighters when they're doing such terrible things. And here's the sad thing: they aren't mentioned on the news. I heard it on one news program, I think on the internet, but they're saying how ruthless these Hamas fighters are, and the reason they're so ruthless is because they're all popped up on drugs. They're feeding them something called a poor man's cocaine, which is there a rich man's cocaine? But they're finding them after they're dead. They're finding these pills in their pocket, and it just makes them freaking sick with madness. And it's scary.
You're not answering the question.
A Batman fan because they used to have darkness, and this darkness is happening on our planet now. It's killing me. There's no place for it. There's no place to say, I was a Redskin fan. I hated the Cowboys, right? I never wanted anything bad to happen to my friends that were Cowboy fans. It was a show. It was just fun. Everybody chooses your own team. But when you start doing it for races, it just breaks my heart.
So the people that are here from Palestine, should we just get rid of them?
What? No, that has nothing to do with that. That means I'll be joining their world.
You haven't answered the question at all.
Well, first of all, there's not a place called Palestine. Fighters. Okay, Palestine's a region. It's not a place.
Kelly, you got people that don't agree with you, and they're in this country, and they're demonstrating. What do you want to do?
I want people not to call for death of other people.
They're always going to do that. I'm sorry.
But it doesn't have to be.
Right. And
we always paid for long distance, and now we don't.
So talking to a girl from Brooklyn. Y'all know that I'm from Brooklyn, right? I grew up in Bensonhurst. I just want to say this. This is real. I grew up in Bensonhurst. I just want to say, look at my face. I grew up in Bensonhurst. I grew up in a time when it was not popular to cross the tracks to go get White Castle, right? If I ever wrote a book on Bensonhurst, it's almost equivalent to like what's happening now, right? So White Castles was affordable takeout where you can go, the White Castle, right? It was cheap. I think it was 8 cents or 10 cents or whatever.
It was onions with a little bit of burger on it.
Yeah, right. But it's what we could afford. However, to get what we could afford, right? Because that was like going out for us. We had to put our life on the line. Do you know how many people never made it back with those White Castles because they dropped them running because they were told you don't belong in our neighborhood? This is where I lived. I lived in a time where it was common knowledge that you didn't belong in this neighborhood because Bensonhurst was not about to get integrated. But you see, I'm almost 60 years old. I survived. I'm not making light of anything. What I am saying that it has always been here in some form or fashion where someone thought they had the right. It's just like manifest destiny that they were teaching in school, right? I know that those of us who don't agree will continue to work hard to bring about a change. I do know that there is some sort of a civil understanding that happens because I was that one person that brought that integration and that understanding in Bensonhurst, and then the Charlies, who put people in the ocean in the cement shoes. It's like, hey, that's Shell. Leave Shell alone. Hey, Shell, if you was married to Donnie Shell, you'd be Shelly Shell. You know what I mean? Like it just happened like that. I learned to eat garlic knots and all those zucchini sticks, and hey, no, But can I tell you something? It was scary. I lived this every single day when you didn't know if your brothers was going to come through that door from home because they may have gone to get that cheap White Castle. Life is a circle, man.
But I want it to evolve. I want us to get better. I want, more people to
we just got to keep doing our job. Those of us that are doing the right thing, we just got to keep doing our job. But I'm going to call it out when it's wrong, and it's wrong. I understand. But in that case, because Wayne asked the question, what do you want to do? So Shell says, just keep doing the right thing. Those of us that know, Just keep doing it right. Lifting up that good book, lifting up that good conversation, talking to the young people. That's another thing that we can do. We can talk to them to see where their mind is.
I want to, but they're all stoned at the concert.
Stay out of the venues, Kelly. and get a new friend.
Then it's all free love and STDs. So
yeah.
When I saw them write that at University of Maryland, I'm like, how can that even, how can somebody, do they know what they're writing? You know, they're 10th Avenue North. I don't know if you heard, they broke up during COVID and now they're back together again and they're producing songs and going back on tour, and I can't wait to hear them. And they have one song where he's talking about they don't know what they've been doing because they're young and they just don't get that they're making all these bad mistakes and it's not going to help them or that can help the kingdom of God. And it's a beautiful song, but it's so accurate. And Wayne would be very impressed because in that song he raps in it, so he does more of a young person thing in there. And I hum because I can't say the words that quick.
You will be, or probably have been, in a situation where you're going to be waving a placard or a poster, and there's going to be somebody that's going to be on a podcast a few days after that, and they're going to have the same conversation. I can't believe what that guy has on his poster. I can't believe what he represents. If only the only thing we can do is talk to them. This is what I said in the beginning. The bill for freedom of speech comes due occasionally, and this is one of them.
But for it to be so barbarically, okay, here. So my friends from East Tennessee State University, back in the 80s, the KKK was going to march in Bristol, Tennessee to Bristol, Virginia, which it's their town. It's two towns in two different states that are, with the same neighborhood. And we were all freaking out. We're like, how in the world in 1983 or whatever it was that they were going to be marching? So a couple hundred of us went and peacefully stood on both sides of the street while, 7 knuckleheads in white sheets went walking down the road. And man, they were intimidated, but we behaved. We just let them do what they did, but we let them know that we weren't going to tolerate this garbage. And then it went away. So that's what we did is we said, we're going to, I'm a white kid from Northern Virginia. But we weren't going to let such hate speech not be noticed, but we also weren't going to cause war on it. Could we have taken, 3 of us could have taken out the 7 idiots that were walking down the street, but we didn't do that. We just let them know that we were not okay with what they were doing.
Wow.
And I'm saying right now, it is not okay ever to hate on anybody like that. If someone comes to cause me harm, I will blow them away in a second. But people need to learn how to not, people need to think before they do things and before they support things, because they don't know what the hell they're supporting.
Kelly, it's so deep, Kelly, because and this first of all, you all touched on something great. This is probably a multi-part a podcast. Like if you want to really get serious, I know we mix it a little bit, but when it comes to the university and their dollars and who has rights, I mean, it's so technical, it's so political, it's so personal, it's so passionate. I mean, it's just it's so everything. And the other part is, so people every day in America, right? Because this is where we are, land of the free and the home of the brave. We use our tongue every day to kill someone else's character, to slander them. Like if you don't like someone, you just go to a happy hour and you try to, do you know what I mean? Like, so this is so much bigger. It's just like us taking our kids and saying, hey, don't play with that little girl over there. Never known that little girl never had a friend in her life. But you look at her or you look at the little boy and they look dirty or they look like they came from the wrong side of the tracks. They could just be poor. And you say, don't play with them. You tell your kid, don't play with them. You don't know anything about them. So some of the young people or people that are being persuaded, they may just do it and they have no clue. They're doing it because somebody else is doing it. Right. Right.
I like to turn the curve. And this is not that type of show. But I just, this one episode is different than anything we've ever done too. So why not? But our goals is to inspire, entertain, and educate people. And
well, you guys do it very well too. And in case I am not on, right, everybody, this is Nouchelle, aka Shelly Hastings. I am the permanent ghost writer. AI. I was gonna message you,
Ghost?
Kelly, but we came back.
Host, not ghost. There's no
She's
G.
AI.
He always
Shelly's
wants to be
AI.
the G.
That's funny.
I came back. Wayne, I saw that wheel. He was driving me. He's like, "Don't go there, girl. Don't go there."
We want to empower women, men, and children, but to do the right thing.
Oh, that Spike Lee joint.
Spike Lee didn't do the right thing at the end of the movie. Remember? What did he do at the end of the movie? The movie's called Do the Right Thing. At the very end, what does he do? He jumps in with the mob and he takes a brick and throws it through the glass.
So, folks, there you have it.
Ruined the whole movie. He didn't do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
He did the wrong thing. I say
It's a
take away that
Spike Lee
Academy
joint.
Award.
So I got my cool hat on.
It's not cool to throw the brick. That's what I'm saying. Don't throw the brick. Extend a
No,
hand.
so I didn't take Kelly into a tailspin, Wayne. I was going to say I'm the ghost host. No, I'm the permanent guest host, and I love the content. I love the both of you. I love the fact that networking has brought us together. This is the power of networking right here, right? This is years of friendship, and I'm just so ecstatic and excited. I can't wait for 2024. I know that you're going to have new and greater content, but thank you all for having me, the two of you. I say all because we are the world. Another song, boop, boop.
I
We are the
appreciate
children.
you filling in for me too on my frequent travels, Nouchelle. Thank you. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
gosh.
Let's
Yeah.
keep on living. This choice we're making, we're changing our own lives. It's
It's true.
for me and you. Man, I hope the recording doesn't happen. So we're over time. Michelle, we love having you as our permanent guest host. Wayne, love you as a brother.
You too, brother.
We love
Thanks,
most of the
Nouchelle.
people that are watching, but I'm telling you, kids, if you're out there doing this stupid crap, you better watch it because there's payback, and it's a lot bigger than just on Earth.
Yeah.
Stop
it
hating on people. I don't like it. You know, matter of fact, I freaking hate it.
Don't.
Amen,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah. So,
All right.
hey, it's been a great. Everybody have a great day. I'll see a bunch of people over at the quarter deck. You'll be there, Nouchelle?
For the no show.
Yeah,
The
we'll
no
be there
show
after the no show. Boy.
Have a good time, you guys.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
How do I turn this off?